What's up, sisters? Welcome to the Period Whisperer podcast. I'm Bria. I'm your host. If you're new, I'm so happy you are here. I'm your perimenopause and menopause sister, your holistic trainer, hormone specialist, translator of your female body. I'm a recovering people pleaser and hustle addict turned body whisperer and hormone decoder. And I am here to help you de-stress your body, decode what it is saying, become the CEO of it, and own your own health, energy, and weight loss again. This show is for you, the overwhelmed, overworked, underappreciated step woman who dreams of a body they feel strong, energetic, and sane in. The woman who knows that she shouldn't just wave the white aging flag and believes in a body and life of peace, love, and purpose. But you don't just know how to get there yet. So if you are stuck in your body, your energy, your life, you are in the right spot. Let's lean in and learn what our bodies are saying to us.
Happy Thursday, sisters. I kind of love Thursdays. I do. I love them because you kind of are moving to this shift in the week. And I also love Mondays. You know, sometimes Mondays, if you love what you do, Mondays can bring, you know, a new energy shift, a new start, you know, new exciting things happening. But Thursdays also do the exact same. You know, the weekend is coming. So whether you have a busy week and a quieter weekend, or the flip side, some people find that they have way more activities happening on the weekend. Whatever it is, you do need some downtime, of course, in there somewhere. But even just that shift, right? That shift, that change. You know, I'm a big lover of routine. I do find that it sets me free, but gosh, it's like all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, right? When we have this same thing day in and day out, and the same goes for our food, right? It gets a little bit of, one of my favorite terms that I got from my sister is called, it becomes like a drainbow, right? It's supposed to be a good thing, but it totally drains your energy, right? When you're doing the same thing over and over again. So anyway, happy Thursday. I hope that you are checking in with your body today. And listen, don't forget, sometimes I'm going to ask you how you're feeling in your body, and sometimes your answer isn't going to be good. And that's normal, right? We're all humans here. If we're constantly looking for perfection, then we're going to always be disappointed. Perfect doesn't exist, right? Ready is a lie. You know, what we're looking at here is moving towards a positive balance in things in life. But we want to be feeling good more often than we aren't, like 80-20. So feeling low in your body, and my real question around asking you, how are you feeling in your body, is more about just really creating that link between mind and body. Like, that's the whole birth of this podcast, comes from the fact that we reach this reckoning time in our life, this, you know, reverse puberty time in our life as women in premenopause and into menopause, and we have spent our entire lives really detaching from our bodies, right? Not trusting our bodies. And so now they're rebelling and we don't know what to do about it. It's like all of a sudden taking care of someone else's child and you don't really know what their things are. You don't know what calms them, what soothes them, what makes them happy. You don't know how to listen to them. You don't understand their cues, right? It's different than when you hold your own baby than if you take someone else's baby. So the same goes for our body, right? Really learning to draw that in, and it takes practice. It doesn't happen overnight. We need to learn to tune ourselves into that. So anyway, how are you feeling in your body? The good, the bad, and the ugly. I do want to hear from you. Feel free to, send me a DM on Instagram or Facebook, whatever. Send me a message, tag me in the Period Whisperer community. Heck, tag me in your stories when you're listening to these podcasts. Remind me how you're feeling so that I can also create episodes to help you with those feelings. Because even though low times are really normal, we don't have to suffer. That's the other real goal of this podcast, is to remind you to, one, turn in, understand what your body is saying to you, decode it, and then not suffer anymore. Learn what to do in how to make it feel better. So today I have an exciting episode, I think, for you. I get a lot of questions around supplements, to support and nourish our bodies, especially during this time. So I'm going to walk you through some of the key supplements out there that are really there to support support our cycle in perimenopause, why they're there, what they do, why they can be beneficial. And of course, I'll probably say it again, but before we go diving into other supplements, it is important to always ask our healthcare providers, especially if you're taking other things, we just want to make sure that it flows with what we're doing, right? We're all unique. We're all bio-individual. So always important to check in and make sure, and that you're buying really good quality supplements. It's hard to know, right? It's always hard to know. So one of my favorite things is just to go organic in my supplements. Really look for a company that, sources organic stuff. It usually means it's a higher quality product, or at least it's coming from the source, or do some research and get something reputable. Okay. But before I want to dive in, guess what? It's September 22nd. And I have an announcement for you today. I have an announcement about something that I have been working on for a while. And I'm about to launch something that I know is going to help some of you really significantly. So are you ready? I'm excited to announce for the first time ever my hormone rebalancing 8-week private coaching program. 8 weeks where we are going to really dive into you, give you clarity to the cause and effect of your specific hormone imbalance, get you out of weight gain or feeling stuck and back to weight release, really ditch the belly fat and the bloating. I can really assure you this is going to give you a 75% improvement in exhaustion and brain fog, and ultimately create for you a customized strategy that you can keep forever and use every time you begin to feel out of balance again. I know for myself and for the clients that I work with privately, having something we can go back to again and again when we get into hormone crisis, because it's going to happen, right? A lot of our hormone crisis has everything to do with the amount of stress coming at us. And although some of it's within our control, some of it's not. I go in and out of it still. I am completely human like the rest of you. And I love having something that I know I can lean back on. So if you are my ideal client, if you're a busy woman, whether you have kids or not, but maybe you have a big career and you're struggling with low energy or insomnia, brain fog, whatever, daily exhaustion, this program will get you back into clarity, consistent energy, and patience for your career, for your family, for your sex drive. If you're struggling with unexplained weight gain or stubborn belly fat, cravings, bloating, you name it, listen, you will head into 2023 feeling lighter and in a body that releases weight easily without doing more. And really one of the biggest things I hear from you guys, and that I know in myself, and one of the biggest reliefs I hear from my clients when I work with them privately is not being consumed by their body every day. What could I do in my life if I'm not consumed by how I feel in my body? I think about that sometimes. I might be able to rest more deeply, sleep better, have greater sex, have more fun, be more engaged with my kids, be more successful and live my dreams, right? These things consume us. And there's an opportunity cost there. So if you cannot seem to follow through on your goals or plan to be healthier because your perimenopause symptoms or life keep getting in that way, this was me for sure, this program will help you gain the confidence and motivation to become the woman you know in your gut that you should be. So it is perfect for you if you are consumed with how uncomfortable you feel in your body more than 10% a day, okay? If you feel really good all the time, this isn't for you. This is for someone who really, recognizes this is impacting them, and they have tried other things and they've been to their doctor and they know everything is supposed to be okay, and yet they know inside of them that it is not. It's perfect for you if you're finding yourself on the couch most evenings, drinking wine or snacking on foods that you know aren't healthy for you or aren't serving you, and you want to stop, but you just can't. It's if you're waking up each night thinking about everything you have to do or everything you should be doing to feel better in your body, then this is for you. And you know what? This was a big one for me. I created this program for those of you who are like me, who found yourself in your closet every day, frustrated with getting dressed. getting dressed can be fun or should be almost effortless, right? Assuming you have clothes in there to throw on. Your body and how you feel in your body should not be elongating that process for you. This program is for you if you often wish you had more patience for your children or your partner or people in your life and you want to feel happy in your body again. So if this sounds like you, I really want to encourage you to swipe up or go to my link tree or go to my website and apply. I'm only taking 6 women. This is a very intensive 8-week one-on-one private program. You're going to get a lot of me during this time. And I promise you, results are there for you. Like, not getting you results doesn't look good on me. So I am here to really help you through this path and get you to a place where you are feeling light and energized. This program is not for you if you've been to your healthcare provider and have a diagnosed medical condition and you're being treated over there. Okay, we want to always follow through on what we're doing first. And if this is really not for those of you who believe the only way to lose weight is through calorie restriction. We are not doing that here. Okay, that's not what happens. That's not what helps. If you've been listening to my podcast for a while, you understand that. And of course, this is only for those of you who really are willing to carve out daily time to change. Change is required here. What got us here is not going to get us to the energy, the body, the vitality, the things that we know that we want. So if this sounds like you, if anything I have said in the last little while, or even in my last several episodes resonates with you, if you are so fed up and you're kind of at that, place where you are so sick of feeling this way and you can't imagine being here in a year, then I really want to encourage you, swipe up, fill out the application. If your application is approved, because again, I want to make sure that we are compatible, that I can help you, that I can get results, then we will set up a free discovery call and assess your goals and really assess your situation so that you can be sure that I can help you and I can be sure that I can help you, right? We can get to that point. It's so important that we know we can work together. Again, this is 8 weeks. And the goal here is for us, we're in the fall, right? We're in this season of the year where we know what's after November. Well, it's the holiday season and then it's the new year. You don't want to head into another year feeling like junk. This was the time of year where I finally had enough and decided, okay, no. It is definitely time to change. So anyway, if you're one of those people and you're like me, where you are too busy to try to figure out all of this, like you could follow all of my podcasts, you could follow me for a long time and probably, pick out what could work for you or through a lot of trial and error. But it took me 3 years, and this is my career, to figure out what was going on in my body and begin to, unravel that tied knot to get myself to a place where it released weight, where I felt really good, where I felt like me again. 3 years, and it's my job. So if you are someone like me who recognizes that having a coach, that having someone give you exactly what you need really is going to make all the difference, then this is your opportunity. Like I said, I'm only taking 6 people. Applications will be open for the next 2 weeks only because we are diving in October, and we're going to dedicate the next 2 months to having you end this year feeling better than you have in a long, long, long time. Okay. So let's get into nourishing supplements. Now that I've said all of that, I know you're here. Remember, if you listen to the episode on the pathway to, to feeling better in perimenopause, you're here because you've given yourself permission to recognize you should not feel this way, right? And the next piece is diving into that awareness, that connection with your body. And once you have the awareness and connection, there's a piece where we start to create some results. And that's where, supplements can be very supportive for women. They can be very supportive during a time when we know our body is missing supplements. Like every menstruating woman has 2 unique biological clocks. If you listen to my very first episode, I really broke this down. We have the circadian rhythm, of course, that everyone operates on in the world. It's that 24-hour biological cycle that we all know and live by. It rules which hours we sleep and which we're awake and how we schedule work and our play. The infradian rhythm is the second 28-day hormonal cycle that menstruating women have. Now listen, I say menstruating women, but And science says, well, once we stop menstruating, we don't have this infradian rhythm anymore. But I have to tell you, in all my experience, in the hundreds and thousands of women I have worked with, in my experience in my own body, in all the research I have done, I find it really hard to believe that our body learns in puberty to work a certain way, operates that way for like 30, 40 years, and then all of a sudden stops. It doesn't work that way, right? We don't just change on a dime. So even if you are a non-bleeder because you have had a hysterectomy or a partial hysterectomy, for whatever reason, your body still operates in a rhythm. This infradian rhythm is a really powerful thing that fluctuates over your 4 phases. So even if you aren't bleeding, you still have this kind of rhythm happening in you. It might not be as significant, it might not be as noticeable, but it's still there. And recognizing it and showing up for it and honoring it is a way that we start to really tune in and hear how our body whispers to us. So if you experience, of course, any PMS or hormone related symptoms, which is what we're experiencing in perimenopause, it means that your infradian rhythm needs more attention and care. And that's a lot of what we talk about here on the Period Whisperer podcast. We're trying to create space for our bodies to do what it does on its own, which is heal and repair. And by creating that space, we're giving some attention and care to it. But sometimes we can get a little boost, a little supplemental boost that can really help. So when you take care of this infradian rhythm, you can feel energized, you can feel calm, you can feel more focused, you can feel pain-free throughout each phase of your cycle. I have a lot of women that come to me that are having some like pain during sex during this time of their life. And that doesn't have to be. So I want to give you the sort of the main supplements that are there. And I always want to like lay out that caveat again, that it is important that we connect with our professionals, our healthcare professionals, our naturopath, whoever it is that you work with, you know, to make sure that nothing is conflicting for you. So I'm gonna walk you through a few here. Our follicular phase, which of course is that phase of our cycle. I like to think of it like the spring. It's that first, week to 10, 12 days after our period ends, after we actually bleed. It's when our energy is starting to really build in our body. It's when, estrogen starts at its lowest after our period and it begins to build up again. And it's kind of like that bloom, right? That real springtime bloom that's happening in our own body. And a really great way to support this time is something that's going to support healthy blood sugar balance so that we have more energy, right? We already have a massive stress load happening on us at all times. And we know this, right? That's a lot of what's going on, not just because we're in this sandwich generation of life, raising young kids, aging parents, like careers we're trying to build to this peak. A lot is happening in the world. And the fastest way to add more stress to your body is having irregular blood sugar. If you have downloaded my hormone hacks, my hormone hack event, or gone through that, you'll know that a lot of the tips in there are really designed around helping you have balanced blood sugar. They are quick, they are easy to implement, and they will help you have more energy, because when we have spikes and dips in our blood sugar, it stresses our body out and it adds more of a load of work to our body that's already grinding constantly in the background, dealing with this natural imbalance that's starting to happen. So we want to support it, right? If our goal is to reduce the stress load on our body, we don't want to tax it anymore. So when we want to support our healthy blood sugar in the follicular phase, there's a supplement that we talk about called coenzyme or Q10, or CoQ10 is what it's often happened. And it's really been shown to help, improve heart health, but blood sugar regulation specifically. And it does a bunch of other things. It could reduce the oxidative damage that leads to like muscle fatigue and stuff. Because this is a time in our phase where we have more energy, we have a tendency as women to push more. So the coenzyme Q10 or the CoQ10 is a really great way to help assist in that blood sugar regulation, along with trying some of those hacks in the hormone hack event. I'll make sure to put that link in the show notes as well. If you haven't downloaded that event, it is a fast way for you to get results and feel a difference in your body almost immediately. Sometimes that's what we need, right? We need some quick wins. Okay, As we head into the next phase after our follicular phase is our ovulation phase. And the ovulation phase is like our summer, our big bloom. It's when all the hormones come to the party. And of course, if we're in this time of our life where things are a little dysregulated, sometimes we're getting too much of one hormone, sometimes we're getting out enough of another. So a lot of people can feel almost anxiety during this time, like a lot of chaos because so much is happening inside of us and we don't even realize it. So what we want to be focused on in our ovulation time is metabolizing, or something that helps support our metabolism and metabolizing our excess hormones that are still coming at us. Even just a simple warm water with lemon in the morning to help support your liver function at that time can be really helpful. But there's a great supplement compound called DIM, and it can help prevent sort of the effects of excess estrogen on the cells, because our estrogen is kind of coming at us in spurts right now. It's a little dysregulated. On top of that, we know the excess cortisol in our life is depressing our progesterone. And when progesterone and estrogen are have a symbiotic relationship, we're now having not enough progesterone and we're having an excess of estrogen. Even if it's not coming at us consistently, it kind of comes at us in these spurts. So we really want to be able to, boost our antioxidants, improve our mood and help metabolize this excess estrogen that's coming at us in a dysregulated manner. All right, so that's what we're looking at in the ovulation phase. Then we move into our luteal phase, right, which is kind of like the fall. It's the fall season or the autumn season of our body. And this is where, we see a much higher element of blood sugar dysregulation in this phase, which is what leads to cravings or energy dips or irritability or headaches. And we know, right, if we're grinding all the time in life and we're not resting enough and we're not getting enough downtime, when we reach this part of our cycle and our blood sugar is now further dysregulated, it becomes even more challenging, even more exhausting. And when we're exhausted, you guys, people ask me about cravings all the time. When we are exhausted and we're not resting, like when our body says it's tired, what it's asking for is rest. If we're not resting, it is going to seek out energy in the fastest way that it can, which is through simple sugars, right? Simple carbohydrates. So you're going to be craving these things in the afternoon. And for some people, it's savory, it's chips, it's this. For some people, it's sugar, it's like chocolate or cookies or anything, like any type of comfort food that way. And it's almost physically impossible for us to say no to that need, right? Like it's a sorry. It's a basic need the way having to go to the bathroom is. You can ignore the urge to pee for so long, but at some point it's coming out. Same thing. If your body is exhausted, and you ignore it for so long, at some point it's going to find its way to get what it needs. It's going to suppress your metabolism and it's going to go for that sugar, and you will not be able to mentally push yourself through that. So a really good opportunity in your luteal phase is to look for a chromium supplement, cinnamon supplement, these kinds of things. Chromium specifically helps to keep those blood sugar levels normal by improving the way the body uses your insulin, right? And that's really, really important during this time. Remember that when we are out of whack, we are stressed. Remember, when our blood sugar is going up and down all over the place, we are unable to have consistent energy. We're unable to get rid of cravings. And if we cannot do any of those things, then we're always going to be in frustration and dysregulation. Okay, so chromium and cinnamon are really great supplements during that time. Finally, in our actual menstrual phase, we really need to nourish and kind of support, our uterus, like any cramps and discomfort that you're having, support your bleed with like antioxidants, anything that's going to fight oxidative stress and inflammation, right? Your body is going through a lot. I always remember when I was pregnant, particularly in the first trimester, you're so tired. And one of the things they say is that you're so tired because your body is busy literally building a human. And it's almost like you're using the amount of energy of running a marathon every day. Well, when we bleed, it's like a smaller version of that. So now you're running a 10K every day. More is happening. Your metabolism is trying to grind away in the background, and we're not slowing down. So one, it is first and foremost important to take some time to rest and relax a little bit more during that time. But supporting yourself with supplements like quercetin and nettles are really going to help you with antioxidants that fight the oxidative stress. Like I said, it's anti-inflammatory. It might help reduce the swelling in your body. Again, it really supports your blood sugar. And that's what we're trying to do to our body through some supplements. Kind of add like a warm hug to make things soothe a little bit better. You know, when you're just feeling a little off and someone you love just comes and like wraps their arms around you and just holds you. Like there's this 12-second number that after 12 seconds, your body just kind of relaxes and releases. This is what we're trying to do to our body when we use supplements. We're supporting this aspect of our body. Okay, so those are some of the key supplements that are really there to support us during our cycle, at what phase of our cycle. But I will say some of my favorites as well that I like when I'm in dysregulation. I look for a magnesium glycinate. I talked about this on the thyroid episode as well with Hannah Mullen. She was amazing. She came on and talked about, the value of magnesium and how it really helps settle us and calm aspects of our body. And so many of us are deficient in magnesium right now. So looking into a magnesium supplement can be really great. And of course, omega-3s. Omega-3s are something that we are all really deficient in North America. And they are key, not in just the nourishing of the body, but again, helping to metabolize the excess dysregulated hormones that are kind of wreaking havoc and causing more trouble in our body. Remember, you want to think of your body almost like your child, right? A child that just needs a little extra care, a little extra understanding, a little more compassion. And we have been so far removed from our body that bringing us back to it is going to take a little practice. And then really learning to show up for your body is the way to get there. All right, you guys, that was a lot of information. These are things we definitely go over, in my one-on-one private coaching. It really depends on you. The private coaching is designed to be very unique and customized to you. So you know exactly what you need to do every day. You're feeling results. You're staying on track. You're working on the mindset piece, right? We kind of have this body piece. We've got a mindset piece. There's a lot of elements to getting you where you want to go in the fastest way you can without adding more to your life. It's doable. I have the answers for you. Remember to swipe up and apply. As I said, I'm only able to take 6 people for these 8 weeks. And you're going to get a lot of me during that time. Okay. I'm so happy to have had a chance to connect with you guys today. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to rate and review. It would mean the world to me. Or share this podcast with someone who's struggling and might need it. We need to normalize that this is not normal. We don't have to feel this way. And that there are ways to feel better than we ever have at any age. All right, my friends, my sisters, go out and be more in your life and not just less on a scale. See you next time.
Thank you so much for joining me on the Period Whisperer podcast. I want to encourage you to reach out to me directly and message me if there are topics or things you're struggling with so we can address those right where you are at. And of course, if you loved this episode, if you learned something, make sure to share it with your friends and please rate and review it wherever you get your podcasts.